Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be exploring how a Horde expert handles the black pieces. So if you do enjoy this video, then please remember to give a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so because I release more content concerning other chess variants, other chess puzzles, and other fun things. Okay, so let's dive right into this. We're taking a look at a player, he's rated 2500 and even a little bit above that, handling the black pieces. So let's see how he does it. Okay, so first things first, he's going to start off with his rook pawn because that's going to help us immediately activate this guy. And notice that it's make things difficult for white because then they can't push their rook pawn, and any trading that will happen will immediately have consequences because black is essentially now freezing two files. So if we were to have some sort of variation like this, then white can't push their b pawn at all because otherwise they're just dropping their a pawn. So this is a really good way to immediately just freeze your opponent on two files, and you can do it with both rooks. So that's why it's so powerful. So then black can continue after white plays some move. Then black can continue and get both rooks, and then they'll be freezing the H and G files. So already freezing 4 out of the 8 files, that's half the battle. Okay, so the next important thing that this player is doing with the black pieces that most of us aren't doing is just waiting. And the reason why this works, white has all their pawns tightly packed together, and that's helping them because their pawns, when they're all meshed together, then they're much stronger. If we let white just make moves and press further into our territory, then they're going to be spread more thin. So we're almost increasing their supply line. And because they have a longer supply line, then black is actually going to gain an advantage here. So, can you believe it? Black is just going to waste time with his rook. So just moving his rook back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until white finally makes a move. So by doing this, we're going to allow white to just come and get us. We'll fast forward a little bit to see why this could possibly work, even though it seems ridiculous. After more moves of black just moving their rook back and forth, wasting time, we can see that now black, we can see their point. So by wasting all this time, white no longer has any more moves that they can really employ. So they have to start sacrificing pawns. So this actually wins material, and notice there's another thing that we're going to talk about. So the next thing that we're going to notice is that black is deciding to put a bind on the dark squares. So white was able to go ahead and capture all the light square pawns, and that leaves black with a really nice control over the dark squares. So now white has to sacrifice material to be able to move. And we know that white, they can't pass their move. So that's why this works, why we would just shuffle our rook back and forth. It seems like just a trolling move, but it is actually good and it does work. Here we are at our next teachable point, where black is going to play a surprising move. They're going to go knight e7. And this seems really silly. It seems like it just blunders a pawn. But notice what would have happened had white captured. If they capture, then black had every intention of capturing on f5. And now white can't recapture because that's just going to leave one pawn left on the e file. So by doing this, then black is going to gain an advantage because eventually, if we split off a whole file, then white will yet again have a big problem. They only have power when their pawns are connected on the files. So once this e pawn is gone, then they're going to be split and they're going to be more isolated. Okay, so now we're at the position that we can see why pushing our rook pawns is so powerful. Let's roll it. So g4, black captures, and now it exposes the rook's vision, and black is still also threatening to capture here as well. So white can't really do anything about this, and they have to lose material. So they recapture, and black is just going to help themselves to free material. Thank you very much. When white pushes their pawn, then it vacates the square, so black can always take that, and again freezes all these pawns, and black retains an advantage. Let's see how it continues through on the other side. So white captures, black is able to recapture, and then again all of these pawns are frozen. So these 7 pawns are completely frozen just by the rook. Here's the position that we're going to take a look at the next point, when it's important to sacrifice. So in this case, white has been disabled on kind of their H and G file a little bit, and definitely on their A and B files. So now black is just left with some defenders. They have white has a few more files that they can use. So black thinks that's the right time to go ahead and sacrifice here. So by sacrificing, yes, usually in normal chess, a knight would be worth 3 pawns, but in Horde, it just really matters if we can just fracture our opponent's pawn structure. So all black really needs to do, if they can eliminate this last E pawn, that's going to make their job a lot easier. Okay, and here's our final point. That was an amazing move from black. What they're going to do here is sacrifice at any cost to make sure that they get behind their opponent. So we all know that getting onto our opponent's first rank is extremely important, especially with the queen. If we can do it with a rook, then that can also be okay here. So black plays this amazing move, rook h4. So that's threatening. Rook takes f4, and then black will break through. White decided to capture this guy, and then of course black is still going to capture on f4 and break through. So black is going to break through no matter what, and black did indeed to go on and win this game without too much more trouble. That's all for this video. If you did enjoy it, please remember to hit thumbs up, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I do release more videos concerning chess variants and other chess problems on this channel. Hope you have a really good day.